Hey, hey, hey. Time for another out of this world story from our space. How do you choose to seek revenge? Do you go right for the uppercut? Right where it hurts? Today on our space, we blow off some steam, and sometimes that means sleeping with the enemy. Up first, this OP made the sweetest lemonade with the help of the affair partner's wife. I slept with my wife's affair partner's wife, and I am divorcing her soon. We got married almost 3 years ago. She started having an affair with her coworker 1 year ago. I got to know that because I saw his car outside my house one day. I had my suspicions. I hired PI and gathered evidence that she was having an affair with him. I was angry. Then I got a call from the coworker's wife that she came to know about the affair. She only had texts they used to send, but I have all the receipts of their hangouts. Together, we decided to confront them. We used to meet up a lot. She told me she had suspected his affair since her pregnancy. They had 3 children together. One day we had an idea that we should sleep with each other as revenge. We did. Not going to lie, it felt good. We've been meeting and having sex for a while. She's an amazing woman. I would say she's better at some things in bed than my wife. Mostly, I'm very angry towards my wife, because in some of her texts with her affair partner, she and the affair partner made fun of affair partner's wife, saying things like she's gained weight, her girl parts were destroyed, and other disgusting stuff. I cannot believe that she would say something like this while being a woman. She even made fun of my fertility issues, saying that I'm not a man because the chances of me having kids is very low. I do not feel bad about my affair. I like the sex life I had with affair partner's wife way more than my wife. She hardly ever gives me oral, but expects me to give her one. At least affair partner's wife was more enthusiastic about it, and it was the best oral I ever had. Affair partner's wife wants to tell her husband. I guess we are both tired about carrying out the revenge affair. We both got carried away. We were both so driven by the revenge that we got addicted to it. I will confront my wife soon. I already have the divorce papers ready. Since we do not have a joint account or marital assets, it will be easy for us. A fair partner's wife might have some problems because they have kids, but she has the power to take him to the cleaners. I know I sound like an awful person, but I am already checked out of my marriage. Let's see what the community thinks about all this. First reaction. I'm happy you're happy. Don't get married to a fair partner's wife. That way she can keep her alimony. Hope you guys live happy together. When life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. DOP replies, I'm not really sure if I want to pursue anything romantic now with her. Sex was great, over the top, but we only hooked up for 2 months. If she's willing to pursue a relationship, then I would be okay with it. But my lawyer advised me, and her, to keep it quiet and not to make any further moves. Someone else responds, when all the dust settles, continue with the other betrayed spouse. Sometimes you have to remove the piece of crap people in your life to find a gem. Make sure and twist the knife deep when your ex finds out. She will know who's really infertile. DOP replies, well, I will. She's a beast in bed. After the first time, I wondered if her husband was bad at sex or just an idiot to think my wife is better than her in bed. It makes sense that the two of you would turn to each other in a time like this. I think it might actually be a healthy way to deal with the rage and anger you have towards each other. I mean, that's one way to blow off some steam. Updates. I totally forgot about this Reddit account. Well, I do have an update like most of you requested. I served her divorce papers on July 16th. I delayed because I needed to get some things in order. So, I served her divorce papers at her work. When she came home, I packed up her things and told her to go and stay with her dad. She did what typical cheaters do. She begged, apologized, and blamed me for her affair. I wasn't prepared for all of that. She was stubborn and told me she would not leave and will fix our marriage. I reminded her the house belongs to my parents. Their name is on the house. If she doesn't leave, I can call them and have her evicted. I had already called her sister. I thought she would take her away from me, but her sister blamed me instead. That I'm not a good husband if I'm giving up my marriage that easily. This is where I became a bit petty and told her, this is very hypocritical coming from a woman who left her husband for his cousin. I guess the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. She slapped me. I warned her this is their last chance, or else I will call the police on her for assaulting me. After she left, the messages didn't stop. I didn't block her because I wanted to screenshot some of it. She said she was sorry, begging me to take her back. She mocked me and said she never enjoyed any lovemaking that we did, and that she and her affair partner had sex on every furniture in our house. I don't know how much of it is true, but I will be replacing my furniture regardless. I wanted to tell her the other betrayed spouse and I defiled her car by having sex on it, but I didn't. The last time I spoke to her, she apologized to me. This time, the apology seemed sincere. She told me she got carried away. Lately, she's been thinking about having kids. As I have mentioned in my previous post, I cannot have children. She knew that and told me she wants to be child-free. But now she's in her mid-30s. She's been really wanting to become a mom. And the fact that I cannot give it to her angered her and cheated just to cope with it. She told me she was wrong and I was the best partner and husband anyone could ever have. But she just wanted more. I asked her why didn't she just say so? We could have adopted or went to a sperm bank. I asked her if she was pregnant. I don't know, but it looked like she was. She murmured yes. I knew this wasn't my baby. All hopes for reconciliation is out the window now. Imagine if I never discovered the affair. She would have passed this pregnancy as a miracle baby. I just congratulated her and said I hope she has a wonderful baby. I want this divorce ASAP. As for a fair partner's wife, she also served her husband and is taking him to the cleaners. She's not backing down. I only talked to her a couple of times. She ranted a lot that she wasted her best years and youth on a disgusting man. She complained she left her modeling career just to be with Tim and whatnot. I think she still looks hot. We didn't have any contact for a while. There was one time she drunk texted me with a sleazy picture asking me to come over, but I refused. She should apologize after that. We're not planning on dating anytime soon, not unless all the divorce proceedings are over. But I do miss her a lot. Also, I got a cat. My soon-to-be ex-wife hated cats. Now my house will be a cat kingdom. Edit. I posted the cat pics on my profile. Here, take a look. Honestly, you're exactly right. There's so many alternatives to infertility, and cheating isn't one of them. That's not how anybody should deal with it. I'm sorry, OP. You didn't deserve that. I don't think you should be missing someone who treats you like dirt. Don't waste your energy on that type of garbage. Let OP know your thoughts in the comments below. Next up, hide your kids and hide your husbands. This young lady's hungry for aged wine. My 35 female husband, 36 male, had a months-long affair with my sister, 20 female. I've posted about this in here before, but ended up deleting the post on day one because my wayward husband found the post, since I didn't attempt to conceal my name or use a throwaway account. I've since just blocked him and his family, because I don't really know who else to talk to about this stuff. So here I am again. It's been a little over 3 weeks, and for the most part, friends and family don't check in with me as regularly. I'm tired of thinking about it, tired of talking about it, but also can't get away from it. He moved out the weekend before last, and I'm feeling some relief from not having him in sight all the time, but I'm also overwhelmed with having been thrown into single parenthood so suddenly and unexpectedly. I feel like I don't have the space to grieve properly because I had the hearts of my children to look after. I got a lot of feedback on my original post, most of it useful and thoughtful. Some of it, not so much. I'm sure that not everyone who finds themselves reading this post will also have read the last one, but I did want to add a little bit of context for those who did. My husband and sister did not grow up around each other, so I'm not really concerned with the grooming aspect. At least, not in a long-term sense. Growing up, I lived with my mother, and she lived with our father. She was only 3 when I moved out of the house, 6 by the time he and I got married. However, our being a mother-in-law family made visits home infrequent. And even then, I'd usually go alone. He likely only ever met her 2 to 4 times at all before she moved to the same city as us late last year. Her version is that she was victimized by him. I know, it sounds incredibly crappy to not believe someone claiming to be a victim, so I do want to clarify some things here. 1, I do believe that she is and has been a victim in the many sexual relationships she has had with much older men, and that she seeks these relationships as a result of some deep-seated traumas from her childhood. However, she has always entered into these relationships consensually and has never considered herself a victim of these men. Should the men have been, or known better? Absolutely. Did they still actively engage in very inappropriate relationships with her, citing her consent as their gross justification? Absolutely. So while yes, I absolutely believe that my husband was the one who should have been responsible for managing their relationship as a much older player, I also do not believe that she ever felt victimized by him, but now claims to have been to earn my sympathy and forgiveness. His version is that she sought him out even prior to their first exchange, and then began indirectly threatening him that she would tell me if their relationship didn't continue. He was also very drunk the first time. She had had nothing to drink, and according to him, initiated the encounter. Things I do know. She sent a friend request to his FetLife account 5 days prior to the first encounter. She sent a friend request to her brother-in-law's social media account, which contained multiple nude photos. I believe she at least fantasized about him, if she didn't actually plan to initiate sexual contact. Will I ever know the full truth of what happened or why? Probably not. I don't know if they're both lying or if they both actually buy into the BS webs they're spinning. I don't know how much of it even matters anymore. And I don't know how I'll feel in 6 months, or a year, or 5 years. But today, right now, I don't know how I'll ever forgive either of them for what they've done. Also, updated ad. I did tell my children, on the advice of my therapist, because my children were very close to their aunt, this one couldn't be as easily managed by just omitting the why of our divorce. And there was a fear that it would come out later in an uncontrolled way, or that I would have to create a story around why their aunt is no longer in their lives. I felt like the only thing to do was to tell them enough of the truth, and it's all just been really hard. How does the community react? Glad you asked. Let's check. The first comment goes, she sent a friend request to his FetLife account 5 days prior to the first encounter. She sent a friend request to her brother-in-law's social media account, which contained multiple nude photos. Oh, hell no. She's not the victim here at all. Not only is she going after older men, she's going after married men. She gets off on the silent competition between her and the betrayed wife. She got off on feeling like she was better than you, and then probably had a power trip knowing she caused the divorce. I would let everyone in the family know and cut contact. I don't even know if therapy would help with this woman, but expect her to try again with any man you bring around. DOP replies, when she told me about everything, she admitted that she hated me at the time it started. Now she says that he initiated and that she was groomed, told by him how awful I was. I believe that part is true, as he's often vented about me to inappropriate outlets and company, and felt like he was her best friend. So I do believe that she reveled in their relationship, and enjoyed that it was a secret, and very likely enjoyed that she spent every weekend at our house during that time. Our relationship was strained for some time, but slowly we became close. And it's at this point, I think things started to change for her. She felt guilty for what she had done, confessed, and now I think she's trying to salvage whatever she can by telling a story that she can live with. I think she did an awful thing, and did it with intention, and I think that she may even have convinced herself that she is a victim. But I don't think I'll ever be able to forgive her. As of now, I have no plans to ever be in her presence again, or allow my children to be. Although once they're adults, that decision will be theirs to make. Someone else responds, I'm sorry, OP. Your friends and family don't sound like good people. I've supported several friends through infidelity. I can't imagine abandoning someone in pain, especially someone I love and care about. DOP replies, I don't think they mean to be negligent. I think they just don't know what to do or say, and I live very far away from any family currently. In the first few days, week, I was constantly being checked up on, but that has since dwindled. My sisters, in particular, are struggling with knowing how to love both me and the affair partner through this. I think that's something that has been hard for us all. I could never ask them to not still be there for her, but the emotional part of me is hurt by it at the same time. I know that part will get easier eventually. Although there's so much wrong here on so many levels, it does seem like your sister was looking to feed her ego, and for some reason older men do it for her. She seems to be missing something from her life, and older men appear to fill that void. Update. Why the truth matters so much. Despite one Redditor's insistence that I'm just pain shopping, I can't help but want to know everything that happened. Not so much the intimate details of each encounter, but the feelings and motivations on the parts of both my wayward husband and sister. My sister insists that my wayward husband is a sexual predator that groomed and manipulated her, and who was loaning her money while she was out of work and so felt obligated to continue their affair. To be clear, she didn't lose her job until after the first encounter. My wayward husband insists that my sister is basically a sociopath who baited and pursued him, initiated the first encounter, wanted him to leave before her, and then made subtle threats that she would tell me if the affair didn't continue. It's so difficult for me to believe that either of these people I have loved and known so well are either a predator or a manipulative sociopath. They're both coming down hard on me for not believing their individual versions, and really not allowing me all that much grace or understanding when it comes to my inability to detect or know the truth. I think that right now it feels very difficult for me to know how to process everything and begin to heal if I can't even really understand why it all happened in the first place. I'm trying to process the version that is most digestible to me, but that doesn't mean that it is accurate at all. My sister says that she would provide me with any evidence she could and help me to see the full picture. But when I've asked her for specific things, she comes mad that if I need proof, I must not believe her. When I ask my wayward husband for details or specific questions or even just seem angry in his presence, he tells me that he just can't do this, and then I'm rubbing his face in it, or making him my punching bag, and keeps making threats to unalive himself. He's been in this crap since January, but as of today, I've known about it for less than a month. I'm still just in the earliest stages of processing it all, of figuring out what my and my children's new lives look like, of learning how to navigate all of this difficult legal stuff I have no prior experience with, of carrying on in my personal and professional lives while simultaneously carrying all of the heaviness of this emotional burden around with me. And still, neither of them seem to understand my anger or inability to trust anything they say. They have centered themselves in this and completely forgotten about what they've done to me and my children and how long our journey to sort out this grief will take. I'm just so angry. I can deal with all the sadness, but this rage feels like it might consume me and I don't know what to do with it all. I don't know how to get away from it or endure it. I'm just so exhausted. Edited to add that my OP in here contains more details about the affair itself. I don't think you can trust them as far as you can throw them. Update. It hasn't even been 2 months since I found out, but it feels like it's been 10 times that long. It's already hard to remember the time before all of this. I know it's been recommended that we not go this route, but we've decided to move ahead with divorce proceedings, using a mediator only. I do believe that he is genuinely remorseful, and all I want is to do this amicably so that it will have as little impact as possible on the kids. We've come to agreements on everything outlined in the divorce decree documents, and I'm satisfied with the decisions we've made. I don't care about entitlement, I just want to be done with it. I'm in therapy and I think it's helping me to process everything, although it does seem like my most difficult days are always the ones following my sessions. I'd really like to go back to talking to my therapist about anything but this, but I know that this part can't be sped up or skipped over. My sister reached out to me after my request that we remain no contact. She was blocked everywhere except for my phone number. She has since been blocked there as well. During that brief interaction, she asked if she could contact my children, and I asked that she please not attempt to contact them. She became angry and sent me a pointed message. I didn't respond. A few days later, she sent my middlest kiddo a request to join a game on Roblox. I missed that one. My kiddo deleted and blocked her from the app, but I'm upset that my sister did not respect my request that they not be contacted. I'm considering filing for a restraining order, but I don't know if that's the right thing. I hate that I'm questioning so many of my choices. I'm not interested in petty revenge or weaponizing my children against her. But clearly, asking her is not enough. She has tickets to a concert in our state in August, and I'm worried that she'll attempt to see them somehow. I'm still just sort of emotionally floundering. My emotions are less heightened for sure, and the kids and I just returned from a 4-day trip to the beach and Disney. That helped. I'm not checking in with my family much anymore because I don't want them to have to rehash the same things over and over with me. I know it must be exhausting for them too. I'm just feeling very isolated lately, and I'm not sure how to mitigate that. Thanks for being here. Updated to add, I'm so thankful for all the support and advice I've received here. I wanted to address some of the common responses. My soon-to-be ex-husband is not in contact with my sister either. He fully supports the kids remaining no contact with her, as it is now known that she is lying in her claim to have been victimized by him. Don't worry, I'm still holding him accountable for the role he played, but knowing what I know now, I'm privy to the more nuanced nature of his role. My state actually offers a protective order against harassment, which varies from a CPO or RO, in that emotional distress isn't an acceptable reason for applying for one. She has surely caused that for me and them. Now let's see how the community is thinking. First up, please remember to notify their school that she is not allowed to come near them and to notify the police if she tries. Someone else adds, 100% notify anyone that will have the kids out of your supervision. Their friends, parents, camps, childcare, etc. I'm so sorry, OP. Maybe try joining a hobby group, bowling league, art class, etc. That way you get social interaction with people that you don't have to keep reliving this with, and just have some fun. It does seem like your sister may be suffering from some sort of mental illness. It's not right to try to bring children into this. They're not pawns. And your husband may be remorseful, but he was cheating on you even before he was with your sister. Fed life? Really? He was seeking to stroke his ego outside of the marriage, way before your sister decided to play with the devil. What do you make of this? Thank you for joining us today. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. See you next time on R Space.